Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're happy you're here. We have a lot of great stuff to go over today. I am John Weir, and
I'm Tony.
today with me is
Tony.
Tony,
Partner in crime.
partner in crime, co-host, and our producer and faithful leader,
Steve.
Steve. Steve Enders. How is everybody doing? We hope you're all tuned in. We're expecting no less than 4 million live viewers.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
If you are viewing this live, please feel free to, at any point in the broadcast, send us your questions, comments, concerns. If you're worried about my hair, my beard, the little red thing under my eye, I've been in a fight recently. These are the things that we are all concerned about, I'm assuming.
He's had that thing looked at, and it's not cancerous, just in case anyone was wondering. So he's going to make it. He's going to pull through.
It's a turtle bite, actually. Just a festering turtle bite. You remember Ernest Goes to Camp?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
They fire the turtles, and then if you're not familiar, they shoot turtles, and then they're paraturtles, and then they attack people. That's what happened. I got bit. So we got a lot of very interesting stuff for you today, and we're going to actually get right into that. Tony, do you want to take away our first topic and get it all started?
I would. Something that we can't come on tonight and have a show without talking about a huge loss to the turtle and reptile community. David S. Lee, who passed away. We got the news yesterday. We don't know any of the specifics yet. I haven't seen anything yet. None of us knew him personally, but we all read his work that spanned so many decades and so much really interesting stuff that he did, and it's really a huge loss, and I just wanted to bring that up. So if you don't mind, I'd like to start off the broadcast by reading an excerpt from probably the most important to me article, journal that's ever been written about turtles. It really has changed my thinking and totally made me question everything I do, and I think that's so important with what we do. So I'd like to read that, if that's all right. Are you guys cool with that?
Take it away. Yeah, read on.
Thank you. So at the end of the name of this journal is Moral, Ethical, and Legal Issues Regarding Importation of Rare Turtles Under the Guise of Conservation. And it's about Geoemyda japonica, and it's a case study that he wrote, which is really important. So he says, we need our captive breeding and conservation activities to be positive, above board, and legal examples. We, as well as our government, need to respect, enforce, help, support, and expand laws of other countries that were enacted to protect turtles. Foremost, this is what we should be about. The captive breeding aspect should remain a secondary consideration as far as overall conservation is concerned. Is this frustrating stuff? You bet. But no one ever said this would be easy or straightforward. We will learn to evaluate as we go. If private keepers are to gain respect in the conservation community, we need to know as much about a turtle's legal status as we do about its husbandry needs. And importantly, we need to all know this prior to acquisition of those animals. So I think that really sums up what I thought was so important about what he did, and it really has changed the way that I look at things. So I just wanted to share that.
What specifically has changed for you, Tom?
Well,
I mean, obviously, it's a very profound
Yeah, well, to give a little bit of context too, I mean that article is taking a species that so many keepers want to have, and we've talked about this in the past. And I think that 11 years after that was written in 2004. I think 11 years after that was written, some things have changed a little bit. People have bred that species more. It hasn't been imported in a long time, so I think some things have changed. So I find it really interesting to see how things were in 2004 versus today. Things have kind of gone through a bit of a shift. I also just think it's really important it's an important like reality check for us to realize that even though we want something because we want it, we should really think about what we're doing. What does this mean? Does it help? Is there something else that we can do with our limited space, resources, money, time that can help more? If that makes sense. So even though this species is like a rock star and everyone wants it and everyone thinks it's amazing, and they are beautiful and amazing, but maybe there's something else that that you can spend your time on. If that makes sense. And I think that's what he was saying. So
what has changed for you specifically? Did you get rid of your dinosaurs? I can't help but think of Jurassic Park. You sound like Dr. Malcolm, Dr. Ian Malcolm, in that. You packaged it and you're selling it That was
life finds a way.
Life finds a way. I'm not really good with Jeff Goldblum, but what has changed specifically for you, Tony?
I never got in Pineapple Express how that kid could supposedly do a good Jeff Goldblum. Who does a good Jeff Goldblum?
It's hard. It's hard to do.
Frank Caliendo, maybe? I don't know. You got to be pretty good to do. I don't feel like that's a foot in the door. Impersonation that you could just do on day one. But are you asking me more questions about this? Do you want me to elaborate more? Tell me what you want me to say. I'll say it.
No, I just want to understand. Did you or did you not change your some of your projects?
Well, what I did as a result of this is start to look at everything and start to think. For a long time, I would look at species like some of the Moremi species, and they're really rare in captivity, and they're easy to get in captivity, but people rarely keep them, and they're really rare in the wild, and people don't look at them because they're not as pretty, I guess. I don't really know. So just thinking some more, and I've done some writing about hopefully some blogs that we'll have coming out soon about some species that I think aren't thought of very much because people just don't see them and people don't really make a big deal about them. But like for instance, the Vietnamese pond turtle, which was thought to be extinct in the wild, and they recently released some back into the wild, which is a great conservation assurance colony success story, but you don't really hear about them very much, and I think that's sad. We talk so much about other things that people want because they're important. I mean, right now, like albino and caramel red ear sliders are like, people will do bad things to get those. Like they will do anything. They will sell their firstborn. They will jack a car. They will do whatever they need to do to get those turtles. And
all things I've seen you do for chicken parm.
Right. Exactly. I was poor in college, man. I would do anything for some chicken parm. But yeah, I mean, it's like
that was this weekend.
I recently and I still do, but don't.
Thank you.
I don't know why you have to say it in front of everyone, but I recently sold some caramel red ear sliders, and they're not in the best shape, and it was a good opportunity to use that to get something that I really wanted to work with. So I'm like on cloud 9 right now because of how the high demand that those things are commanding right now. Like everyone wants them. Everyone.
The high demand that those things are demanding?
Yeah, whatever.
If you will.
You know what I meant. Thank you. I forgot you never ever made a mistake. That That was a Dumb and Dumber quote.
I agree in general with what you're saying. I think that it's important to, that we even if nothing specific changes, if we're just asking the questions, why are we keeping this, or why is it even worth it to keep this, or,
right.
The general things like, I think most of us agree that assurance colonies are something that's important, and like you said, that we've had some large victories recently with those, but if you don't question even those from time to time, then you can really lose yourself, and you can be deluded in just thinking one way. So I think it's good to ask questions.
I totally agree.
That's what you can what you can get out of that.
I totally agree. I think that we all need to do that, and I don't think it happens enough. And I think that it's a hobby for the vast majority of the people involved in it. It's the majority are not herpetologists. They are they're like us. They're herpetoculturists, and they don't study as much. And we have to go to work 40 hours a week, and then study on our free time and mix it in with all the rest of what life is demanding of us. I get that, but I think it's so important for us to remind ourselves that we need to look at things to figure out what is the best way to use my time. That I am an important resource, a part of the greater good. And
the greater good.
The greater good. So, why not use that for good to the best of my ability? So if I have one enclosure that's used for something that might not ever be let back into its native range, or that isn't breeding, or that isn't going to breed in the future, then we really need to analyze that and figure out, well, is that something that I really want to spend my time on and precious space. We live in the Northeast. I know I mentioned that like every podcast, but it's expensive and cold here, so you really have to pick what you're going to work with wisely. That's all I'm saying.
Right, like we should all have picked mammals, a type of mammal to work with.
Right, mice, rare, endangered mice.
Fancy mice.
Or cockroaches.
Right. Cockroaches, you could keep them wherever, is my understanding.
Or Twinkies. We could just house Twinkies in our basements.
And
it's just a thought.
Feed them to cockroaches.
Right.
Cockroach will eat anything.
And then feed both of those things to the mice. We could make $1 million.
I think we just did. This is live.
This is live. We made $1 million for someone else who's going to use our idea.
Yeah, well, you didn't specify make $1 million for us.
That's true. So I was right, after all. Feels good.
Yeah, you always are. We're going to move on now to the next topic of discussion. Again, I think, Anthony, you want to bring that to the forefront here, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, let me say
one. Do we
want
to talk about some news? Do we have any basic news stories there?
Yeah. There's one thing I want to share before I go into the next topic. Is that cool?
Please. I'm really sorry to have cut you off.
Okay. So for anyone who has listened to the Pondcast through iTunes, before we've done this now show that you can watch, that John runs the show. He's the host. He's the funny one. He's the handsome one. And he's also the prepared one, who normally has the plan of what we're going to do. I'm helping out a little bit with that today, so we're a little out of sorts with it, because John, if you don't know, John coaches a college basketball team. He's actually broadcasting from the office right now, and literally when we were preparing for this, he was making recruitment calls to potential players. So, you weren't?
No, that of course would be an NCAA violation. Thanks for bringing it up live on air.
No. He wasn't making recruitment calls. He was making calls about the basketball camp that he's going to run this
Thank
summer.
you.
Right. I just assumed.
I didn't tell you this, but I had my first week of basketball camp, and we had 3 teams, and I made them all choose a team name, and I told them it had to be reptile related.
No, you didn't.
That's
I
great.
did. It didn't take. They just made up their own names. But I'm really trying to mix um, animal love for animals and specifically um, herpeticulture in with basketball. It's hard though. We've tried. I mean, we've been trying, but there's so very few people that cross over into both realms.
I don't believe you about that story at all. I don't believe
All
you.
right.
So John
Fair
was
enough.
calling people for his camp anyway. So he was busy making phone calls. I don't know anything about college basketball anymore. As you can see, I'm way too heavy to have anything to do with a collegiate athletic sport of any kind at the higher level. No chance. So just so everyone knows. But the point is, I'm helping out. So I'm trying to throw out the topics today. So be ready for that. And please forgive us for my shortcomings, as it were. That's for you, John.
Thank you.
So the next topic, which is really big, is the potential listing of the genus Pyxis on the Endangered Species Act, the American Endangered Species Act.
Hold on to your hats.
Don't mock me.
I'm
Do
not
not.
mocking you.
So for anyone who doesn't know, those are spider tortoises and flat-tailed tortoises from Madagascar.
As
So
producer, I feel like I need to make a quick plug here. If you want to know more about the ESA, you can actually go to theturtleroom.com/ESA and get a basic understanding of the law. And I think tomorrow we'll actually have some more opinion from Tony coming up to the blog on this topic. So stay tuned for more.
nice. Let me just mention one thing before we get into it too. Steve just called me Tony, and John, you called me Anthony before. And
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't want
trying
to
to. This is awkward because Steve knows that my name is Anthony, but John from our old basketball days still calls me Tony. So guys, snap out of it for me, please, because it's making me uncomfortable.
There's too many. I have a lot of things that I call you.
That's true. That's true. But I prefer
Cat,
Tony.
the big parm. You
Yeah.
prefer Tony?
No, I don't necessarily prefer Tony. I prefer the big cat. I like big cat. That's good.
Okay.
That's good. So getting back to our topic, this is actually fun to see myself while I'm talking. I'm so not used to this. I don't realize the mannerisms that I have when I talk and things like that. So this is fun. But
Very interesting.
yeah, it's really great. It's enlightening.
You didn't notice how close you get your shiny forehead to the camera when you're talking?
Oh man, it's hot in here. What do you want from me? It's the middle of summer.
Have a little know-how here.
I was gonna wear a baseball cap. Next show, I'll have a baseball cap on because of that comment from John. And maybe you should get some clippers and fix that squirrel neck you got going on.
Don't you dare.
All right, so back to our topic before we get too off track here. So Pyxis arachnoides and
I thought I had a hat. I was looking for it.
good luck. And
All right.
Pyxis planicauda, those two species are critically endangered according to the Red List, IUCN Red List, and everyone's known for a while now that they, that they are in trouble. So a lot of people, keepers mostly, including the TTPG, are kind of up in arms about the fact that the ESA doesn't really do much here to protect those species. The only way I can see it protecting them is if they are still being smuggled into the country. I don't know that they are. They might be. I surely am not involved in anything like that, so I wouldn't necessarily know if they were. But I think with a lot of other species, you get, and you kind of get the idea that that is still happening or may still be happening. But I've never seen it with them. And with the price tag that they have here, you'd think that people would try if they could, if they thought they could. So that's one piece. Also, I'm kind of in the middle on this, which is kind of how I always have been with pretty much everything ever. I like to see I like to see both sides. I would never be good like on a debate team, that's for sure. I might be a good moderator. But I think I just wrote a piece about this recently, but I think that we keepers sometimes give ourselves a bad name with the way that we sell animals openly for large amounts of money, and sometimes make it known that that's what we're trying to get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that gives us all a bad name. The spider tortoises that I have, I got for an amazing deal because somebody wanted them to go to the right place. They were never put up for sale, and they're actually obviously through a zoo. They're stud book listed, so we're part of that stud book species survival program on top of other species survival programs. So that's the good stuff, and you don't always see the good stuff, if that makes sense. So I think that sometimes we give ourselves a bad name, and I think that that's part of it too. It doesn't look like we are doing the right thing. So I think it's so important for some of us who are doing the right thing to get out there and be more vocal about what's happening and the good things that we're doing. Yeah, I don't think people share enough. Share videos, share husbandry, discoveries and incubation techniques and just everything. Shit. Knowledge is power, right?
I mean, it's true. It's hard enough to find, like, if you don't know where to look and you want to find something about a specific species or about whatever it is, if you're interested in keeping or whatever. I just feel like it's overrated how hard it is or it's underrated how hard it is to come up with good information on stuff like that.
Right.
I don't, I mean, unless you really know where to look, and you take it for example, everyone that's going to listen to this is probably already knows where the right place to look is for this is, but I mean, go find basic information on the theater scene in Chicago. Unless you know where to look for anything, you have to really dig.
Hopefully it pops up on Google.
Right. So right, exactly. So I mean, we can hopefully make it easier for our niche, our thing, and then hopefully the theater geeks in Chicago can make it easier for us for when we want to see Othello and we're on vacation.
I don't even think people, I shouldn't say for everyone, but I think there's a large amount of people that don't even go to Google first. And I think that's so wild. We're on the forums and stuff like that. People will pop in, and will ask questions that you could find in 2 seconds on Google, but they totally I don't know, feel like just asking some. Maybe they think it's like a live person behind the curtain or something.
Even though you already said it, though, they ask questions on the forum. They're already kind of in the right place then.
That's true. But that's really true. Maybe it's just the instant information. I don't really know. Like the way that our society is now. I might be just thinking myself in circles right now.
What way is that?
Let me tell you what I think.
We always end up coming. We always end up coming to this. I feel like. Tony complains about society.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever come to that. But thanks.
I feel like we talk about it all the time. But please tell us what's wrong.
You're making me feel deep right now, and it feels good.
Furious.
Yeah, it feels good. But I think, I handle our YouTube channel, right, for the most part. I know Steve jumps in once in a while, but I answer all the comments. I can tell you, it's probably like 98% of people ask questions that are in the description. That's right under the video. Like 98%, and I'm not really exaggerating.
You're talking about YouTube commenters, which are nothing again. Please watch us and comment.
Yeah, right.
On it.
What you're saying right now.
YouTube comment sections are notoriously bizarre.
That was sweet. That was a sweet way of saying that. That was nice of you.
Yeah.
I was scared of what you were going to say. That was good.
No, bizarre. Bizarre is the word. I would never insinuate anything else.
Yeah, you're totally right, though. And I know if it's any indication of society itself, then we're all doomed, immediately. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily like studying. They don't like the academic side of things, if that makes sense. I always enjoyed class. I didn't always go, especially in my 5th year of college, but I enjoyed it. So I don't know. Right. So, anywho.
Do you have anything else to say for this topic, as we kind of took a jaunt away from the topic there? What else do we have to say about Pixies?
Yeah, well, they won't be listed until next year, but they're looking at it right now. It's open for people to. Hi, John. It's the chair spinning. That's hilarious. It's open for people to comment, give their 2 cents, and I encourage anyone who has any experience to do with the species or any important species to do so. And I mean, that was slick. That was really slick.
That was pretty good. Did you guys even notice I was gone?
No.
Sorry, when they pay me more, then I won't have to do other things while this is happening. I'm sorry.
Do you remember before we went live and Steve and I mentioned that you can shut your camera off when you move around? Did you know that?
Yes, but remember I thought we agreed that wasn't we want people to be looking at my face as often as possible, so I just figured I'd leave and come back quick.
Oh, right. Because they might want to see, yeah.
I thought that was a marketing decision we made.
Right. You're showing how stealthy you were.
Right. People enjoy.
What do they enjoy?
They enjoy slick movement.
Right.
For radio people to make.
John's nickname in college on the basketball court was the Pale Mamba.
Nice.
Because he slithered up and down the court. And he actually fell down about 8 times a game, just in case anyone was wondering. I never fell in my whole college career. He fell every game about 8 times.
Because you have to get 14 bricks thrown directly at your body to make that weight lose its balance.
That's right.
You never fell once?
No, I might have fell once or twice.
I mean, you never tried to take a charge, I know that.
I never took a charge. It's epic when I fall. I always joke that if I fall down, I would die instantly. And actually, I haven't thrown up since 2006. So those are 2 things that I'm very proud of, specific about me. So now that was given to me.
That you haven't fallen down or thrown up?
I've probably fallen down. I don't fall down very often, though. That's for sure. Probably every year or so, maybe.
I think we can agree that I think that people falling down is the funniest thing in the world. There's nothing better than watching somebody fall down, and you specifically watching a man of your size fall down.
Yeah,
it's a treat, really.
Yeah. I think that's why I don't, because let's be honest, it's not pretty.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for your loved ones and for wildlife in the area, but it's funny.
I'm so much like a giant tortoise of the Mascaron Islands, it's not even funny. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay. Well, wait, I read the book, but there's not like a pronunciation guide, so.
There's not.
Yeah, there should be. Note to Sir, what was his name, the guy that wrote that book?
I don't know.
We both read a book. What is it? What is the name of it again?
An Uncommon History or something like that.
Wow, this is bad, but I can't remember it. Look it up for me. A Sheltered Life.
A Sheltered Life, yeah.
I was thinking, I kept wanting to say Life in a Shell, the book.
It's the unexpected history of
the giant tortoise.
Of the giant tortoise, yes.
Right. That book is awesome. If anyone's looking for a good book to read, it's awesome. If you like history and you love Colonians, it's really like the best book there is. It's
Paul Chambers, author.
Paul Chambers.
Yeah.
He's a British chap, I think. I can't really.
I think he's a governor. Yeah.
I hope Tom's listening to this still.
I'm sure he's very upset.
Tom is our partner from Wales, so I don't even know if we can.
Yeah, then he'll be fine with us making fun of a Brit.
Right, totally different, but to us it's similar.
No, it's not. It's not similar, Tom.
To me, it's similar, Tom. I'm sorry.
You're a stupid American. That's
right.
I'm cultured. I know the difference between whales and the rest of those places out there.
I don't. I just found out
Anyway,
whales exist. I'm kidding.
that
I'm
is,
kidding.
yeah, they're the largest mammal on Earth.
What?
Whales.
Oh, good one. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I brought that back.
Wow.
What I wanted to talk about this though. That book though, definitely. I mean, do you remember? Do you have enough to review to say real quick what you liked about the book? Obviously, a lot of it was about Darwin and about
Yeah.
um, the effect of the giant tortoise had really on the lives of Homo sapiens sapiens.
Right.
Latin.
Right.
Really, really more than you think.
Well,
Because
there's such a big part. There was such a big part of exploration and
right,
discovery. A lot of trips that probably couldn't have been made were made because giant tortoises have so much meat in their body, and they could survive on board a ship for
without water or food, and
ever.
right, they're like traveling buffets.
Right. So they could survive forever on the deck, under the deck of the ship, and that's it. Just whenever you need a snack, you've got a whole ship full of them ready to
Turtles.
go.
Did
Yeah.
no? So I don't know if it was like a masochistic thing, but like I was intrigued by. I want to taste it. There, I said it like I'll never obviously stoop to that, but like I was like, huh, that sounds like something that I should be tasting.
I will say one thing. You brought up an interesting point. Now, I don't want to taste giant tortoise because they're too precious, and our forefathers or someone's forefathers have done a little bit too much of that. So obviously that's an issue. But I will say I was on a forum a few years ago, and Chris Hagen, who's the director of animal management, I think, for the TSA. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, but with that. But he spoke about how he's eaten different species of turtle before, and at first I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's like the turtle guy, like how I was kind of taken aback by it at first. But after thinking about it more, I mean, there's really nothing wrong. I mean, I've eaten alligator before.
I have to. Alligator tail is very good, actually.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I don't have any problem with with eating healthy animals, not like healthy population animals that have healthy populations. I mean, really healthy populations. Like I'll eat Ready or Slider tonight. I know that makes me a bad person, but
No, I feel like that's not enough meat though. That's why I want to eat a Galapagos tortoise.
you're a horrible person.
I'm not like
He's joking, by the way.
I'm not joking. I would like to eat one. I'm gonna go on exoticmeats.com right now and do a quick search.
That probably exists. Do you know for sure if that exists?
Yeah, we used to pretend we were gonna buy zebra steaks for our roommates in college. You don't remember that?
No. Which roommate?
Zexter.
That makes sense. His name is Zexter.
Yeah, we're gonna buy a zebra steak. It'll make you good for when I'm lifting weights. Love you, buddy. Shout out Zexter.
I bet he's watching. He sounds like the type of guy that'd be watching. I know him.
What are you trying to say about Zexter?
I know him, so I know that he's not watching.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's why I could say that.
Fair enough.
But John is kidding. So any animal rights activists out there, he's just kidding. Are you kidding?
Or am I? If you want to get all upset about it, then, No, obviously, I'm never going to eat an endangered species. But something big enough that has some meat on it, other than a regular slider, of course. No, I'm just saying. The point is that I would be intrigued. I'm intrigued by all. This is an interesting topic, and just in general, by the way, vegetarianism or veganism against, like, I mean, Steve, do you eat meat?
Oh, lots of meat.
Yeah. Okay. Steve is kind of the moral conscience of the show, the program.
What a jerk.
He doesn't He doesn't have great hair, as you can see him fussing with it, but he is the moral conscious. So if Steve eats meat, then I'm good with it. And I always have. You know what? Nothing will ever taste the same. I've had like soy meat. It's just not the same.
No, you can't really beat meat.
It's
It's
not
that
like a marketing program if I've ever heard one.
It rhymes too. How much better could it be?
That was very organic. You're welcome, meat industry. The meat lobby is really gonna run with that one.
That's great.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't feel really bad about it. I know that there's obviously issues that that go with that. I don't. It's not right to over harvest or to grow things up specifically for eating them. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it is I just don't ask a lot of questions. I just eat it.
Yeah. And going back to the book, I think it's so cool to see the history of it and then to try to put yourself back there.
Right.
Because no one knew. So many people don't know about these things now. No one knew about that stuff then.
Right.
So it's really just survival. For all people knew, there were more
careful
islands.
though. Nobody knew, but we should have known, and that's the same stuff that's going on now. Like, okay, no one has proven global warming or a lot of other environmental concerns now, or the carbon stamp or whatever, all that stuff. No one has. It's not widely agreed upon, but I mean, we should all know better. And once something catastrophic happens to the next, generation or whatever, they're going to be like, oh yeah, why this was so clear. It's kind of Monday morning quarterback, but you should have.
I get what you're saying, but I don't totally agree.
Well, why don't you? What don't you agree with?
A debate from the non-debater.
Please.
We're talking about the 18th century and the 19th century. I mean, we barely understood like what was out there as far as like continents. No, I know you're gonna go. He knows everything about geography. He was the first person that told me that Burma didn't exist anymore. Like, oh, cool. That was a long time ago. I know all about Myanmar now. However,
they call it Myanmar.
Thank you. But I'm just saying that, I mean, people were getting around like by horse and buggy at that point. Like, everyone didn't know. These are sailors, like seamen who were out there. They didn't necessarily know about all this stuff. I'm just saying. And there's no one out there to enforce it. There's no conservation laws yet. No one should have known. They didn't know anything.
No one should have known, and they didn't know is definitely two different. They definitely should have known.
People died of slivers back then. No one cared about tortoises. Come on.
Right. I think that's the problem. Our mankind's unaware attitude all along our existence, especially in the last 300 years, where everything has been really ramped up, is inexcusable. You can't just say, oh well, they didn't know, so it's okay to. They did a lot of stuff that they didn't know about that was pretty crappy.
I hear what you're saying.
This is a very vague and general discussion. But having said that, I don't want to do anything but eat some tortoises. Call back.
I don't know. I don't know why we even wanted you on this broadcast. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I thought we spoke very clearly. Remember, we already touched on this, that for marketability's sake, we needed to have a good-looking guy with good hair.
Who is going to stir up some controversy. And obviously, on a podcast, we can't have killer snapping turtles like the Turtle Man has on Animal Planet. So This is the next best thing.
Well, not yet.
Deal with it. Yee!
That he should have known. He definitely should have known.
Yes, he should have, but he does. don't you love how they make it seem like snapping turtles will attack you in the water every single episode? Every episode.
Mm-hmm.
I caught a huge snapping turtle with my bare hands recently. I know. I'm a tough guy, right? We've all done that. But I've gone in the water and grabbed with my bare hands countless these are common snapping turtles. They're not huge. They're not 200 pounds. And they flee in the water, man. They flee in the water. And every show they make it, he's wrestling with it, he's grunting, he's under the water, he's kicking around.
Well, but there's a reason for that, though.
I know, but
who's going to watch a show about all the turtles that flee? No one gives a no one cares. Almost went there. I didn't.
Nice.
It's not marketable for the viewership. So you have to make it. It's just the same reason that they make it seem like Chloe has a personality.
Kardashian reference. Nice.
Oh,
wow.
Nice. Ask Lamar if Chloe has a personality. Too soon for Lamar Odom joke? What?
I don't even know why we invited you onto the podcast.
What?
I have
fun of Lamar Odom?
named Lamar in my house, so how dare you?
Well, run, Lamar, run! He's gonna eat you. Get out of there. Classic.
We gotta get back on task here and finish this topic out. What were we?
Wrap it up, B. Well, I thought we went off on a nice little tangent. That kind of.
Yeah, no, we tangentially.
Yeah.
I tangentially enjoyed that, but
okay. I think I don't know. The last plug is just do some research. If you don't know about what's happening with spider tortoises right now, at least use this as an opportunity to learn about the ESA, to learn about CITES and the Endangered Species Act and state laws of your state, things like that. Just use this as an opportunity to learn about it, because this seems to be a theme for where things are going in the future. So, if you don't like it, get involved and, do more than buy albino red ear sliders and, just get involved and educate yourself as best you can. This is some really cool, unprecedented stuff that's happening, and sometimes some unfortunate stuff for us keepers. So I think that this is the time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes plenty of sense. Thank
you.
You're very welcome. I don't know if you mentioned this, but do the viewers know where you are right now?
Where I'm sitting?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an update I could give, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just funny that I was just looking behind you where you're, that's your decoration for that. But continue.
Yeah, I'm in my nursery right now. So my wife is like between 14 and 15 months pregnant. She's like ready to pop any second. I wouldn't talk like this if she was in the room. Make sure she's not around. Yeah, so we didn't promote this as much as we wanted to because we weren't really sure if we were even going to have this broadcast. Next time we're going to work on promoting them more. We're looking at having them at least once a month. But yeah, I have a baby on the way that's going to be here any second. So I'm in the nursery right now. As you see, I don't know anyone else who has a portrait of a Forsten's tortoise on the wall of their nursery, but now you can tell it.
Yeah, you got to get him in on it early.
Yeah, now you can tell everyone that you know someone that's that much of a turtle dweeb. And my wife doesn't even love turtles. She likes them. She tolerates them.
See, I think you don't give her enough credit. I think that she's way more into it than my significant other. Wait, do we have an update here, Steve?
For those of you who were wondering, Sheltered Life looks like that. There's the Amazon link. You can find it on Amazon. Looks like hardcover, $36. You can find it used paperback from $208.
Nice.
That's big money.
Yeah, where did you get yours, Tone?
I bought mine at the Massachusetts Reptile Expo.
Ah.
I got it for like $6 or $8 or something like that.
Yep, I think I was about 8. I spent 7 or 8. I got it at the Strand, famous bookstore in Manhattan, New York.
Oh.
It's, boring, but it's part of my life. I live there. It's pretty, New York City.
The Big Apple City.
The Big Apple Town.
Classic.
All right, so I think that we hold on.
We're holding.
No, I refuse. Don't hold. I'm a slow reader. Is there anything else that we needed to say or talk about, Tony?
Contact us if you want to talk about any of the things that we brought up today. If you want to bash John for being an endangered tortoise eater, or if you want to talk about the ESA.
I'm just curious.
Somebody commented on our on the YouTube page for this. Why do you guys eat turtles? And it just reminded me. I've been working through another book by Peter Pritchard, Tales from the Tibet. It's a really great book. But even Peter C.H. Pritchard, one of the foremost turtle and tortoise conservationists, has eaten turtle and tortoise.
Right.
Along his many journeys. So just in case anybody wants to see this book as well, and this is a great book. He talks about his adventures with sea turtles, with Galapagos tortoises, and even just some of his background and some really funny stories as well. Just a great book, and so here's what that one looks like, Tales from the Tibet. It's well worth the $53.82 in my opinion. I've really enjoyed it, even though I haven't quite finished it yet. But another great book.
Who's the babe?
Not the babe. Tales from Tibet. It's a French word, I do believe, but I'm not really sure what it means.
Yeah, they had a lot of funny things over the letters.
Yeah.
So it must be French or something.
I'll take swords for 500. I will say, for just one thing, I'm not itching to eat turtle. Steve, John, have you guys ever eaten turtle or tortoise before?
No, I haven't. I unless it's like a snapping turtle or something in some soup, I don't know that I would. Here, definition of Tibet is a solitary retreat. There we go. So, in other words, in English, that means tales from the retreat.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's cooler when you mix in the French word.
It sounds so much better.
Tales from Tibet. That's how you pronounce it. I just looked it up. I also have been looking stuff up over here while you guys were talking. That's how it's pronounced.
I don't believe you.
Tales from Tibet. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up. And Steve, do you have anything else that you need to say?
Not that I can think of. I mean, we could cook it another 10 minutes and get to an hour if you guys really want to, but...
Steve, always trying to push the envelope.
Right. Are we trying to, by cook, you mean in a soup with some yummy spiced turtle egg?
Spiced snapping turtle?
Yeah.
Let's not penalize our viewers by making them watch any more of this just because we enjoy talking to each other. Does that make any sense?
Well, I do actually. Stop me. We don't have to do it, but I do have that an article that I could comment on briefly. Remember the one I sent you guys about what's going on at JFK?
Oh, yes.
Airport.
That's with the Diamondback terrapins crossing the runway?
Yes.
Did I ruin it? I'm asking. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Reveal, like the one thing that I had for this week.
All I said was the title. Give us the subtitle and the text, the body.
Yes. Well,
give us the body, John. Give us the body.
All right. Oh, I'm going to give you the body. I just saw an article recently about the. There's been a lot of delays at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York City, and it's because it's actually situated right in a national wildlife park where there's a large population of diamondback terrapins, and they're like during the breeding season, or excuse me, the egg laying season, they're coming out and they're walking across the runways, and it's been happening. And for more recently, it's been happening more often, and they found out that the reason for that was that many of the natural predators of the diamondback terrapin in that specific, I think it's Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge, are dead because they're raccoons and they got some kind of disease. Let me look what it was. I think it was like the dropsy, or it was some weird like 1900s disease that I didn't know raccoons can get.
Distemper.
Distemper. Yeah, I don't know what that.
Most people, if they have cats, they get shots every 2 to 3 years as well. So I just did a screen share of this so people can see the article on Gizmodo, and you can see the link up at the top if they want. All right, rock on.
That's those are such beautiful turtles, aren't they?
Can't go wrong with diamondback terrapins, man.
The DBT, are you with me? All right, I think we're ready.
Nice.
Thank you guys, everyone who's viewing.
I want to give my sign off.
Tony, can you give your sign off? That's what I was about to get to, but you just.
Okay, go ahead and get to it then.
Okay. Go for it.
Take your time.
No, go ahead. That's what I was gonna do. So you just say it.
I'm just kidding. I knew the whole time that I was gonna go, that you wanted me to go, but I was just giving you a hard time. So, anyway, in the words of our good friend Steve Rosen, be sure to have your red ear sliders spayed or neutered.
That's great.
Yeah, I love that so much. I have to give him credit for that. I'm going to text him tonight and tell him I stole that from him. But I just love it.
That's good.
Actually, don't. You shouldn't have them spayed or neutered. You should just make omelets out of the eggs, and that's how you can eat turtles and feel good about it.
Slider eggs?
Wow.
Slider eggs? Wow. Yeah, you'd have to have like 500 of those to get one omelet.
If I had a microphone in front of me like Steve does, I would pick it up and drop it right now.
Just make the noise. That's enough. That was good. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please, please, please hit us up, again, with questions, comments, concerns. Not so much complaints, because I don't really want to hear those. But just let us know anything that you'd like us to talk about or anything that we may have missed. We've only just covered, I don't know when the last full Pondcast was. It was about probably 6 months ago. So we just covered 6 months of material. Been a long time. So definitely too long. So just please let us know what you think and download us on iTunes and tune in next month. It's going to be next month, right? Is that Steve? Is that correct?
We're gonna try to do another one next month. Let's do it.
Okay, and
we're gonna shoot for every month, and then if something comes up that we really want to talk about and get out there,
right. Hopefully
we can do more. Yeah.
And you can get all that information on the TurtleRoom.com website or on our Facebook page, TurtleRoom at Facebook. Just
Facebook.com/theTurtleRoom.
That's the one.
We'll try to give you more than a day's notice the next time we're going to do one. Get it advertised a little bit more.
That was my fault.
Catch up. Thepondcast.com. You can catch up on all the old episodes there or at iTunes. You can hopefully see this one on YouTube in a little bit.
Great.
If you're just joining us now.
All right. I'm John Weir saying so long for now.
Bye.
That's Tony saying bye.
All right. Have a good night, folks. If you like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, you want to give us some help, visit theturtleroom.com/support. Give us a shout out. Lots of resources as well. You can check out all the things we're doing. Have a good night.